the Japonic-Koreanic hypothesis. I let you guess which modern languages that includes. Unsurprisingly, it tries to connect Japanese to Korean, or rather Japonic to Koreanic, but I'm just gonna say Japanese from now on instead of Japonic. But anyway, what are the arguments for this? Other than the geographical proximity, let's dive into the structure of Korean and Japanese. Both follow a subject-object-verb word order, or SOV for short. However, that's kind of a nothing burger, considering it's the most popular word order in the world. Another similarity is that both languages are agglutinative languages, which, in simple terms, means gluing words together out of different elements, hence the name. For example, in English you have the word anti-disestablishmentarianism, which combines several prefixes and suffixes. That's a bit of an extreme example, of course, but that's basically how agglutinative languages works. Although English isn't an agglutinative one, it was just an example word. Anywho, back to Korean and Japanese, they both are also null subject languages, which means you can leave out the subject of the sentence and they're both topic prominent, which basically means that the topic is emphasized instead of the subject of a sentence. Vocabulary wise though, other than loanwords, Japanese and Korean aren't very similar. Yet, they both put a lot of emphasis on honorifics, which I personally would attribute more to influencing each other over the years. There's also this sheet comparing phone numbers that happen to be similar in Old Japanese and Goguryeo, an old language that might be Koreanic. But let's not open that can of worms, that's a whole other video. Either way, the split must have happened millennia ago, before written records existing. According to Starostein's calculations, between 5,000 and 6,000 years ago, Proto-Japonic Koreanic was a thing, which would mean that it split a bit later than that. Though of course that calculation is just a theory and of course flawed in its own ways, so let's not take it as an objective fact, but rather as something that might be. But anyway, let's rank it on the tier list, and I'm giving it a solid A tier. I do believe it was more of a Sprachbund, but compared to other theories we will cover, it is very solid, although not that creative. But now, let's move on to the next theory.